Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Again, in case you're following, no, I know you're following. I wanted to say this. In case you're coming across this work, it's your first time, let me start with that one now. Don't kill me. In case you're coming across this one, that is your first time. Somebody referred you to this work. I'd train for that part, so don't criticize. So you're coming across this work and it's your first time. Kindly a thumbs up, a subscription, and a sharing with good friends. A thumbs up or a subscription will mean that our future updates, you are not going to be left out. In fact, hit that particular notification bell right there. Why? Because you'll be the first one to be notified of immediate uploads that we're going to be doing in our future uploads, and you don't want to be left out. So therefore, back to a silent song by Leonard Kibera. We are still moving on because the previous episode we stopped at what was that? That was the synopsis. We didn't really get into the character traits. Sorry, it was in synopsis because we had done synopsis and you're looking at the thematic concerns. So we did the first one there, and now we're looking at the second one in this one right here. So let's dig into it. There we are in our very nice, clear slide. Religious hypocrisy, pretentious piety. I guess you're not lost. Religious hypocrisy or pretentious piety. In other words, there's an holier than thou attitude there, which is exhibited by the Mbane's brother. So we're going to be seeing, there is. So Mbane's brother, Ezekiel, is so devoted to God, a preacher, but neglects him for a long time till he realizes that Mbane is nearing his death. Pretentious piety. He picks him up and brings him to his hut, claiming it is rescuing only for Mbane to feel lonelier and more miserable. That one you can quote maybe a supporting evidence from the text, and that is, I rescued you from that barbaric city so that you can see the light of God. That's found on page 18, but that wasn't exactly the reason. The desolate hut is not a habitable place for him. It has a flea-ridden floor. Find that on page 17. It could tell rather that there was meaning in his brother's silence of late. That one is found on page 18. Now, on to our next slide. He asked whether he knows a man called Jesus. He says, but whether he believes and accepts him, Mbane says, I don't know. And his brother says Mbane is worse than a Judas. This portrays hypocrisy, and Christians will not talk like that. And of course, you'd agree with me on that. It is the opposite of the expectation. It's very ironical and hypocritical for Ezekiel to tell Mbane that, Mbane, and I quote, I want Christ to save you. That's on page 20. As though he has already judged him as a sinner, and that Christ, quote unquote, will come down from heaven to do the good to him while his brother watches. Hypocrisy of the highest intent. Now, there is a pretense in the way good Christian men and women curse and call him names instead of bringing the excellent knowledge of Christ to him. And I quote, able-bodied, only crippled more every day by the idleness of leisurely begging. Now, those were the pretense in the way good Christians and good Christian men and women had taken Mbane to be, or had considered him to be in that particular case. On to our next slide. He could only yearn impotently beyond the reach of darkness and lameness. At times, self-pity overcame him. The God of the gospel and religion are comforts beyond the reach of wretched cripple. His God is his only hope of deliverance from pain, destitution, and despair. That is on page 18 to page 20. We are not yet done. Don't hang on there, rather. Don't bolt out of this class. Now, there is another thematic concern of prostitution and sexual slavery. Where exactly is this coming in? Prostitution and sexual slavery. So wait until we go through together. I hope you have read the text. But there is evidence of such sexual evils as commercial sex and promiscuity, whichever way you say it, but you get the point. There's promiscuity, that is on page 18. The blind man knows, that sees and recalls city streets with nostalgia. These are maybe the episodic moments whereby nostalgic memories that are triggered by the current maybe events and the happenings around you. It could be maybe a smell of food, sometimes colors, sometimes we're triggered, or some things, some happenings, they trigger those particular memories and the happenings in the time past, or even some good songs. Now, the noises, drum beating, and rhythms which Mbane calls the voices of good men and women turned drunk later during the night in the refuge of the night brothels, pimps, and war galleries. That is found on page 18, and of course the theme of prostitution there, right there, and sexual slavery comes into the limelight. Another topic of concern here, alcoholism and escapism. The street, especially the black lane, had taught Mbane a lot of, quote unquote, good men and women turned drunk in the refuge of the night brothels, pimps, and war galleries. So literally it means at night they escape into this one, but there is a theme of alcoholism there, and that is what exactly we have in there. Now, that would mark the end of the thematic concerns, but of course that is not the end. There are many thematic concerns that we're going to be looking even as time, and also that particular unfolding of the literature behind. So we're going to be looking at that one later on, but for now, let's cut that one short and we'll look into something also more relevant. Characters in the play, they usually develop the plot of the story, and they also maybe other characters in the story, they help us know the characters of the main maybe characters in the text. But again, characters, they are the ones which carry the theme, they carry the message, the embodiment. Characters are the embodiment of the message or the theme or the thematic concern of any written text here. So therefore, it's need or it calls for the attention of who these particular characters are, their age, their gender, profession, and of course their strong beliefs and systems and where they stand. They can be able to post maybe to bring out some specific themes or some specific ideas and perspectives that maybe the writers feel that they need to bring out. Remember, the writers, they are aware that when they assign these particular characters specific traits and trends, maybe character traits, they bring out an intended purpose of the writers at large, and therefore it's need, or it calls for need for one to look at the characters and what exactly how they are being portrayed, and what exactly are they maybe purposely bringing out. So characters. So we're going to cite evidence from the text on the existence of the following character traits as portrayed in a silent song. 1. Mbane. Mbane is observant, patient, skeptical, and enduring. Of course, all those 4 rather, Mbane deserves them. Very keen, observant in the fact that he could tell these particular good men during the day who are singing good songs, and they are drunk at night and in the refuge of the night brothels, pimps, and of course the horse galleries. We have Ezekiel, not very selfish. We don't have that one. The word selfish is absolute. So selfish. We cannot say very selfish. No, I was about to go that one, realize that the selfish itself is an adjective, but it is in its absolute state. Cruel, hypocritical. Oh, selfish, you can say more selfish. Extremely selfish, but again, at that particular point, let's just leave it at that point. So Ezekiel is selfish, cruel, and hypocritical. That's very evident. Sarah is reserved. You know who Sarah is? Good. You get the point. Again, that marks the end of a very nice episode right there. And of course, this one again, good students, and I want to let you know that every good thing really comes in when you're settled and when you're learning through it, like as if it's not maybe under duress. You don't have to do this work, or maybe do your studies under duress. That's one thing that I've also come to learn. Do it at your comfort zone, whichever way that you want to do it, but make sure that by the end of the day that the information is sinking, or it's diffusing rather, quote unquote. Don't get me wrong. And finally, you came across this work accidentally. A friend of yours referred you to this, and you heard me saying this maybe in my previous videos. How about again you give it a thumbs up, a like, and of course a thumbs up, a like, a subscription, and a sharing with good friends. That one, all those three, literally they'll do me good. They'll motivate me to keep on doing these even as you're moving on. So for now, it's an adios. Stay put for our next upload. Show the best in your endeavors. Cheers.